Boy, look what you could get for $1 back in the 1920s. From Ford Motor Company, it's the Ford Charcoal Briquette Picnic Kit. But what and why was Ford selling picnic kits in the 1920s and 30s? Well, I'll tell you why. Here, this is the grill that they made in his factories. And there's the charcoal briquettes, unopened. This is a fresh box of charcoal briquettes, still sealed in its original box. And the instructions. Again, this is new old stock, never been used, from the 1920s. And Ford Motor Company would sell these picnic kits in car dealerships for $1. But why charcoal briquettes? Well, originally the Model A, Model T, all these old cars from the 1920s that Henry Ford built, much of the vehicle was made of wood. About 100 feet of wood went into every car. And he had a lot of scrap lumber left over, lots of scraps. And he was wondering how he could turn that into revenue. And he got the idea, I guess, of turning it into charcoal briquettes with the help of a chemist and Thomas Edison and a cousin-in-law of his named E.G. Kingsford. Does that sound familiar? So between E.G. Kingsford, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and this other guy who was a chemist, they figured out how to take that wood and turn it into sawdust and combine it with cornstarch and some other things, I guess. And that's how they made charcoal briquettes. But E.G. Kingsford was a cousin-in-law to Henry Ford. And he was in charge of purchasing all the land in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to harvest all of the timber, not just for the vehicles that he needed, but also then for the charcoal briquette company. Ford charcoal briquettes is how they were marketed. They actually sold them in bags of Ford charcoal briquettes. Well, after Henry Ford passed away, they changed the name of the company to Kingsford in 1951, headed by E.G. Kingsford. And today, Kingsford charcoal is the standard. But these picnic kits were sold by Ford Motor Company for $1 in their car dealerships. They wanted you to get out on the road and enjoy picnicking and take this grill with you in your car and these Ford charcoal briquettes to cook whatever. I've seen these things go for well over $1,000 in this condition, but because of the prices of things, the price actually came down on these quite a bit. But here's a perfect example of new old stock Ford charcoal briquette picnic kit from the 1920s.